Hi, I'm Ben Flake, and welcome to the Brotherhood Show. We here at Detroit Catholic Central are excited to share the experience of the successful people in our community, as well as some of their stories. I personally, as a student, as well as school adult leaders in administration, felt that we can do a better job at applying goodness, discipline, and knowledge, our school motto, to our everyday lives. Now, let's get right into our first interview first episode with former Canadian Football League quarterback and current administrator at Detroit Catholic Central, Mr. Kevin Glenn. Your highlights from your pro days? Yeah.
Okay.
I did my research. I think you'll be interested to find some of the things that I found out.
Wow. I may need to pay you off to keep some of that information to yourself.
What?
So we'll see. We'll see. I can tell by the questions on how much research you did on me before this sit down.
How much does that look like to you?
Those are a lot of questions. Just the type of questions, though.
Yeah.
You did a lot of research.
I did a decent amount of research.
You got like other players' names in here.
Yeah. Trust me. I know you played for every team in the Canadian Pro Football League.
Okay.
And that your joking contract that you would sign if what was it the
Atlantics.
The Atlantics. You would
Sooners.
You would come back for your 1-day contract just to say that you've played for every team in the CFL.
Let's give Ben a round of applause. This host has done his job. He's done an extensive research on his actual guest. So I love it.
It's watching film, right? If
the details.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the little things. It's the little things that define us. And
exactly. I love it. You must have learned that here at Catholic Central.
I did learn it here at Catholic Central. I got to be honest. I learned a lot of things here at Catholic Central.
Okay.
I mean, granted, I've always had just that. I've been told I've always had that just the ability to talk to people, but it has really come out in my time here at CC.
You know what? So when all this was going on, I was about to talk about the podcast. I think your name was probably one of the first names that came up. So I can see that the growth from I wasn't here when you were a freshman, but I've been here since you've been a junior and a senior, and I can tell from the conversations that I have with individuals that the growth has been there. So it's great.
I appreciate
this. Is some like marketing tools that we need to put this out.
Well, it's not me. It's the people that I'm around. It's the community here that we've developed.
I think a lot of times people. Sometimes we put a little bit too much emphasis on a person's, surroundings. But I do think that when you're in high school, because individuals are so impressionable,
right?
When you're in a good environment, it starts to wear on you and starts to shape you and mold you into the person that you're gonna, be. As an adult. So
absolutely. I mean, I've seen guys that have walked in the door as itty bitty freshmen. I mean,
are you body shaming?
I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay. No, I mean, like personality.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Like you see the freshmen in the hallways, right? And they're kind of timid. They don't know where they're going. They're lost, right? And even in some of my classmates, and especially in the seniors that graduated last year, I mean, you see the guys that look like they're lost and they don't have a clue, right? They've just been bam hit right between the eyes,
right? And
they go into, I mean, they're truly guys that are ready to command companies.
Yep.
I mean, command teams, just be a leader. And it's not just about like being a captain. It's about the guys that were molded through servant leadership, right? It's that kind of stuff. It's the easy stuff that it's not just about it's not just about being a designated leader.
Yeah.
It's leading from behind, it's leading from within.
Exactly.
And it's that character.
Yep.
So
I totally agree. You see it in some of the assemblies that you do. You
Absolutely.
See it in mass when the individuals get up and speak. You just see it, like you say, you see it walking down the halls.
Right.
So hopefully in another 2 years I can the first freshman class that I came in here with, you can see it. I can already see it now from the time that they've been freshmen to sophomores. But
right, absolutely.
That it's going to be a huge jump when they go from sophomores to junior.
Right,
they're starting to come into their own and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's just nice to see that growth and maturity. But I do have some questions prepared. So if you don't mind, this is a great conversation. I love. I just like that free flowing. But if just kind of molding into some of those questions that I've got.
Gotcha.
Because obviously, many people might not know this about you. But you were a pro Canadian football player.
Yes, I was. And a lot of people don't know that. And I'm one not to always tell individuals that's what I did before this, because then they, like you said, they have a bunch of questions. They start doing research, and then it's like a bunch of questions. You like put right on the spot. So I try to keep it. I only use it to my advantage when I'm trying to make a point. Right. Kind of like when we're on the. When we're coaching and I say, hey, you should listen to me. Right, I've done this before. Much experience. So, but just walking down the halls, you won't be sitting, like stopping guys in the hallway and say, hey, Mr. Glenn played 18 years professionally football. So that's one of those things, like you say, I try to sometimes keep it under wraps and don't really like talk about it, but it's cool. It was something that as a young kid I've always dreamed of doing. Playing professional, and when I had the opportunity to do it, it was just one of those things like, hey, I better take advantage of this while I can. Absolutely. Because life after football, there's a lot more life after professional sports than it is actually playing. Yeah,
playing in those sports is a microcosm of your life.
Oh, big time. Yeah. And because I think the average year for a football player is like 4 years, 2 to 4 years. Wow. So when you've done it as long as I have, like you're thankful. Absolutely. Very thankful. Yeah. That you were able to do something like this for that amount of time.
No, that's got to be just such an awesome blessing. I mean, I've been playing football for 12 years now. All right. And it's like I don't remember life before or without football. Right? It's always you don't have the complete summer that everybody does. I played on a team where we had weight limits. Oh. So I was like 6'2", and I was like 175 pounds. Oh, I was paper thin.
So that's one of those things where, like you said, you kind of like take advantage of the opportunity because everybody's not presented the opportunity, and you never take advantage. I mean, you never take it for granted.
Absolutely not.
So that's what I say. Like that's what I've done. For a vast amount of my career, of my adulthood. Right. But at the same time, like you learn so much more too from just playing football. Right.
It's not just about how to play football. Oh, no. It's not how to run. It's not how to be physical. Oh. It's about those mentalities. Yeah. And I just kind of want to just going into that. During your 2007 season, right? You threw for 2,078 yards, 11 touchdowns, but only 3 interceptions. Obviously, those are great numbers. You were the top quarterback in the league starting out that year. What did it take to? Because I know it's not just. I mean, yes, there's a ton of training. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of practice time. I mean, even now. You see all the practice we put in, but what was that extra level that put you there and made you so prepared?
Well, first you gotta make sure that you did your research. I think I threw more than 2,078 yards. I think it was a little bit more than 2,000 in 2007. I think I might have threw for over 5,000 yards that year.
That was at the beginning of the season. There you go. Is it halfway through the season?
Okay, there we go. So halfway. So I didn't hear it correctly.
I didn't want to talk about the second half because I didn't want to go into that memories. Part. I didn't want to go back into that part.
Okay, we will talk about those
if you want to. We can. Yeah,
we will. Okay, because there's some interesting facts about that season too. Yeah, we can tell some people that some people don't actually know. But to get back to the question,
Right.
A lot of focus and a lot of detail.
Absolutely.
In order for you to do that, in order for you to throw for those many yards, make that many attempts and only throw 3 interceptions when the ball is in the air a lot, especially in the Canadian Football League, it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of focus and paying attention to details. Paying attention to details with watching film, understanding what the defense is going to do sometimes before they do it.
Right.
And all that is repetition. It's constantly going over. I mean, it's like school. You know,
right.
If you're in school and you have a quiz on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if I'm doing reps of, if it's a spelling test, spelling these words over and over and over and over and over,
right,
it's going to give me a better opportunity on Friday to get a high score on that quiz or that test. So it's the same way with sports, you know, same way with quarterbacking. The amount of film that you watch, you know, to get these little subtle details of how a guy is lining up to tell you what kind of coverage they're running and where they're going to be after the snap.
Right.
I mean, that's like 90% of the battle.
Yeah, that second dimension.
Especially when you get to that level, because everybody there is at that level because they're physically gifted.
Right.
You know, and that's where the mental part comes into play, to where now if I can spend more time watching film and getting prepared and doing my research.
Yep.
I'm taking one of Ben's, you know, characteristics, do my research on that team and that individual player. It puts me in a position to be more successful on game day. You know?
Right.
And that's kind of what happened, you know, that year.
And would you say that in your career that mentality has also helped you with more, like, going through not just in football, but does that translate to?
Oh, yeah, big time. It translates into what I like to call is regular life.
Right.
You know, football is, in professional sports, is something that it's because it's still a game at the end of the day. I mean, it's a game that you started playing with your friends for free.
Right.
Because now all of a sudden you're just getting paid to do it. But a lot of the things that you learn from sports and organized sports and competitive sports, you can translate it over into real life. I mean, that kind of situation as far as being detailed. When you get into a job, you know, you want to make sure that you do your research. If you're a teacher and you're actually teaching students, you know, about history, about algebra, about biology, you got to make sure that your attention to detail is on point, because you don't want to give wrong information as a teacher to an individual that's going to go out into this world and think, you know, one thing, you know. So all these things these characteristics that you have as an athlete to be at the top of your game, you know, in sports, is things that I carried over into real life. You know, there's another thing was managing individuals.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that I was a franchisee owner of Tim Hortons.
Really?
And this is probably something that you didn't know.
No, I did not know that.
But yeah, I owned a couple of Tim Hortons here in the U.S.
Did you really?
For some time.
Wow.
Yeah. So being in sports and being the quarterback of a team and managing different, you know, characteristics and different people, it helped me when I got into business of, you know, owning a restaurant franchise, because you have different individuals.
You got different moving parts.
Different moving parts. It's like an assembly line, and you got to make sure that you understand and know how to manage each individual.
Right.
You know? And that's the same thing with coaching too. So I've been fortunate enough to kind of have everything that I've like kind of done in life kind of like intertwined together.
Yeah.
And help me.
And it all just kind of
helps you build on what you're moving to in that next span of your life.
Okay. So I've got another question for you. When you so you're coming out of your 2017 season was successful.
Right.
You retired in 2018.
Yeah.
You started at CC 2 years ago.
Right.
So you would have been here 2019.
So no. So
you would have.
My last playing year was 2018.
Right.
I retired 2019.
I thought you.
So my first year here was January of 2020.
But your 40th birthday was
June.
40th
birthday was June 2019. I retired on my 40th birthday.
My apologies. My source was incorrect.
No, that's okay. I mean, if you want me to be younger than what I am,
I was trying to help you out.
The camera can't see me right now. I know that I know I look young.
This is a special camera. This camera actually takes away 10 pounds in 5 years.
Ooh, I need this camera all the time.
I can help you out with that.
I need this camera.
I might be able to help you out with that.
We got to get this camera in my everyday life.
Start selling it.
Exactly.
I should. Hey man, you want to go into a business selling cameras?
That may work, man. That may work. But yeah, so I retired 2019, June 12th, 2019. It was on my birthday.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons why I did it. So I can remember it.
Right. It's your 40th birthday. It's the day that you retired playing football. I mean, you turn 40. It's just you're moving into your midlife.
You know it.
I mean, especially after how many you played 19 years of football.
That was just professionally.
Yeah, 19 years of pro football, right?
Yeah.
You're 40 years old. You've been taking hits for
a long
30-something years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been taking hits since I've probably been 9 years old. Playing football. So that's a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so and you have to. And that's the other thing. You have to stay in tip top shape in order to be able to do it.
Absolutely.
You know this. So it was a grind. It was
Absolutely.
really a grind. And I tell people all the time. I tell them that like the actual game of football doesn't make people retire. It's the training camp.
Oh, absolutely.
And the hits that you take, that's when you start to retire, those are the things that you think about.
Yeah.
Not wanting to take a hit from a guy that is probably 150 to 170 pounds more than you, or not going through training camp.
Right.
Two-a-days is not fun.
Well,
For those who don't know.
Even two-a-days now,
yes,
I mean, are not fun.
Yeah. It's not even the back in the day two-a-days. It's even nowadays
right.
two-a-days are not fun.
Well, they're not. I mean, you've seen our two-a-days.
Yes, and they're not fun.
No,
I would not want to participate as a player in two-a-days.
Is that 40-year-old Coach Glenn speaking, or is that?
That's 40-year-old Coach Glenn that has been around football for some years speaking. Wouldn't want to do two-a-days. That's what people don't understand. Like, it takes a different mindset in order for you to, because you are mentally and physically drained.
Oh, absolutely.
When you think about the amount of time that you're spending doing this kind of thing.
I mean, I remember coming home from 2 days this year.
Oh,
and I stepped out of my car, and my car is low. I drive a sedan, right? So I step out of my car, I stand up, and my legs lock out. And I'm like, oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So plenty years of that. So. And I played one of the more non-physical positions during practice.
Right.
During practice, all right? So during practice, you don't really get hit as a quarterback.
Everyone stay off the quarterback.
Stay off the quarterback, exactly.
Sean, JoJo.
Okay, that was meant for you.
Yeah.
Stay off the quarterback. But
our quarterback,
you
can hit their quarterback.
There we go. So, you have to make sure that you make that clear sometimes to defensive guys, because they'll say, well, you told me to stay off the quarterback.
We are not going live.
But, so even at those positions where you're not as physical during practice, it takes a toll on your body, your mind.
Absolutely.
You're trying to process all this stuff. You're trying to make sense of it.
Right.
Especially, and when you go back to my career, I was in 9 different organizations. So the fact that there's a lot of times different offenses.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I've jumped from team to team in the middle of a year at times where I've had to.
How
I got traded on a Monday. Listen to this one. I got traded on a Monday night. I was on a flight Tuesday morning, and I played in a game Thursday Thursday night. So you put that into perspective.
That's like that's like our offense switching entirely today at practice over to St. Mary's wishbone offense.
Exactly.
And
playing in the game on Friday.
How different you're not. Plus the connections with your teammates, right? The chemistry between you and the receivers, you and the center.
Everything. It's
how.
Yeah, it was a whole new team. So. It's just one of those things where you relish the opportunity to to be successful at it,
Right.
because all the odds are against you.
Right.
It's
And
like
it's tell me I can't, and I'll show you that I will.
That I will. Exactly. And it was that mentality that I had literally over the course of my life, and that's why, if you can see, I was never pegged to be the professional athlete coming out of. I was never pegged to be playing this position coming out of high school.
No. And what position did you play when you played for Illinois?
I was at Illinois State. I played quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they told me that I wasn't going to be able to play.
What'd you play in high school?
Quarterback.
Yeah.
So
and when all the odds are against you,
all the odds were against me, and I still was able to, to kind of muster up a pretty successful career.
You did.
At that position.
Yeah, absolutely.
When everybody told me that I couldn't.
Right.
So, and I use those words of "tell me that I can't,"
and I'll show you that
I can. So, and that's what kind of helped me.
Yeah.
So, and I think those are the same type of words that you can use in everyday life, in any profession that you use.
Absolutely.
Tell me that I can't. And I'll show you that I will do it.
Let me prove you wrong.
Exactly.
It's just that,
it's
that
just
mentality.
That, so
who are the Wandering Glens?
So you did. So this one is.
I'll give you 3 guesses as to who I asked.
Probably Mr. Babbage.
Absolutely, yo, he got it first try.
Mr. Babbage probably knows.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Marmol probably knows.
Yep.
And Mr. Soffren
probably
knows. And I think the only reason that they actually know, like I said before, I don't really talk about it's from Twitter.
Oh yeah.
All right. So everybody, everybody teases me because I got a blue check on Twitter.
Yeah, you do, and it's interesting to see. Oh yeah, he's just one of my administrators,
and he has a blue check. The actual Wandering Glens, we'll get to that, and these guys know it because of Twitter. So I get tagged in a lot of stuff on Twitter, and this was something, the Wandering Glens, that a group of individuals from Canada started. So what they did is, there's a fan in each city that I actually played in. They have a jersey, a Glen jersey, and they travel across Canada to games together. And they started it at the Grey Cup in 2018 or 19. I think it was in 2000. No, because there wasn't a season in 2019.
Right.
No. There wasn't a season in 2020.
There was no 2020 season.
Right. So 2019 Grey Cup is when it, I think, started.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. They started going to the Grey Cups, and I want to say a guy out of Calgary who initiated it. I'm not for sure what city is actually initiated it, but it really doesn't matter because they're all come together as Glen fans, and so they would say like Kevin Glen has united. Has basically united fans from across the country,
right? To
kind of unite together to hang out together at the Grey Cup. So they had these like a bunch of different pictures on Twitter and on like Facebook and Instagram of them partying at Grey Cup.
Yeah.
Which everyone knows the Grey Cup is like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know who aren't as familiar with the CFL, the Canadian Football League is the National Football League up in Canada. They only play 3 downs, which is weird.
Yeah. It's exciting though.
It has to. It raises the stakes because
it does because you only get 3
downs.
Yeah,
you got one less chance. You get 2 downs. You get 2 plays to play to get a first down. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of exciting.
Is it yards or meters?
It's yards. It's yards. Only other difference is the field goal posts are in the front of the end zone.
Right. It looks like a rugby field. Yeah.
And then the end zones are like 20 yards deep. So
yeah.
You could be like on the 20-yard line and still throw a goal.
Into
the back of the end zone. So it makes for a more exciting football. I'm telling you, and guys who have never ever watched a game, if they watch it, I definitely think that they would get interested in it because it keeps your attention.
Right. It's just like, this is different.
It's like rapid fire scoring.
Right.
Rapid fire like kick returns, punt returns. It's just like it's a very exciting game. It's not as boring as the 4-down football to where it's run, pass.
Are you saying 4-down football is boring?
Oh, did I say that on camera?
You did say that on camera.
Man, I'm sorry.
You're our offensive coordinator.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think.
Wow.
Let's edit that. Let's edit that.
Don't take
It's
it
more-
out. Don't
it's
take it
more-
out.
It's not 4 down CC football.
Yeah.
It's more
That's
so
much
like
better.
4 down
That is-
Orchard Lake football.
Ooh.
They won't see this before the game. So
No, they won't see
it'll
it.
be okay then.
Yeah. It's okay.
But it's all jokes, it's all. But that's the thing. It's a lot more passing
Right.
in the CFL. So it gives you
Is that why our offense is more pass favored?
not necessarily.
No?
Because this is something I did in college too. Like it's just something that I've been around.
Yeah.
My true freshman year in college, the last game of the season, I threw the ball in one game 64 times.
Wow.
Had 48 completions.
God, my shoulder hurts just thinking about that.
Exactly.
Jeez.
So this isn't something that just came about in the Canadian Football League. I've always been a part of this. I've always been a part of
it's
wanting to throw the ball. I think it's
Right.
exciting. I
I agree with you. There's that.
but at the same time, I think it sets up the run too. So
Oh, it absolutely does.
in the last 18 years that I've been around it, I've been around some good running backs who've gotten 1,000 yards, over 1,000 yards. Close to 15, 16, 1,600 yards with still 4 receivers getting over 1,000 yards.
Right.
That right there is an efficient.
That's impressive.
It's impressive, and it's an efficient offense.
Absolutely.
So just the opportunities. I think that's what I think is different with that game is just so many more opportunities, which makes it exciting and keeps the fan engaged. So
Absolutely. So, what would you say if you had to tell our audience today one game that they should go watch for Canadian Football League? What game would you suggest to them? What do you think your best game is?
What's the best game that
you've played?
that I've played in, or
That you've played.
or that I've played? Dude, I played in a lot of games. I got
Over 18 years? Yeah, I'm guessing
I've
so.
had a lot of games. The most memorable, I'll give you this one. I'll give you the most memorable play. Played in Winnipeg. We're down. No, we're up. We're trying to run the clock out. I do a quarterback sneak to try to run the clock out. I get stripped. They strip the ball. Edmonton, we're in Edmonton. Edmonton recovers the ball. They go down to score. Now they're up. They're up probably 4. So we have to score now.
Right. Yeah, it's not field goal.
Now they kick off. I don't know what happens, but we're down. We're backed up. I think on our 10-yard line. All right. Inside the 10. First play we throw the ball, it's incomplete. Edmonton runs a defense. It's called zero blitz defense.
Yeah.
That means that they have no help. All the receivers are one-on-one.
Right.
And they're rushing guys
Yeah.
trying to get to the quarterback. You don't usually play this with like 6 seconds on the clock, right? You play prevent, but they're in this defense. And this is all filmed on tape. You can go look it up on YouTube. I drop back. Well, after the first play, I see this, and I go to the receiver, and I go, look, run the exact same play. Fake him inside and go over top, and I'm just going to throw it up over his head.
Yeah.
It should be there. We both see it. We come back. It happens. I throw it up. We go in to win the game. It's like a 99-yard score, right? And the facial expression on the opposing coach, his name is Danny Machocho, and his facial expression, my brother and sister to this day always talk about. His facial expression was like, somebody pinch me because I must be dreaming. This can't be happening. Exactly. But that was one of those memorable plays, just because of the way that it went down.
Right.
Of me doing a quarterback sneak and I should have just went down. I'm still trying to fight for yards. You learn, just go down. They stripped the ball, so now in my mind it's like, man, we were up. We were supposed to win this game. Now it's all my fault. But then to come back, to turn around,
that roller coaster of emotion.
Yes, and then to come back around to throw the winning touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean, they call it. It was very, very, a very, very surreal moment. But I mean, there's a lot of them. The ball that puts me over 50,000 yards passing in Calgary when I played in Saskatchewan.
Right.
That was another one of those moments that Like, I will never forget the play, the pass, the catch. Naaman Roosevelt was the guy who actually caught the ball.
Right.
I still have the ball to this day.
Do you really?
So
Wow.
those kind of things like are like huge.
Right. Just those things that last.
Those things. 2007. And this was a moment because it was, like you said, it was the year that I was up for MVP of the league. We were having a lot of success.
2007.
2007 was the year I broke my humerus.
Yep.
Right, and so didn't get a chance to play in the Grey Cup, but took the team to the Grey Cup. But like that whole year, looking back, was something special because there's some trivia to that whole year. We had 4 quarterbacks on that actual team that year in Winnipeg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Myself, I was the number 1 quarterback. The number 2 quarterback at the time was Ryan Dinwiddie.
Can't remember
He was Ryan Dinwiddie. His first ever start was in that Grey Cup in 2007.
Really?
We ended up losing the Grey Cup, but that was his first ever start. We ended up losing the game, and I think we might have lost by like 4.
Right.
And it came down to the last plays of the game and stuff. But Ryan Dinwiddie, he was the second string quarterback. He was the second guy on the team that year. He's the head coach of the Toronto Argonauts right now.
Yes, he is.
The third guy on that roster at quarterback that year was Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury is the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I was going to say he's...
All right.
Yeah.
The fourth guy on that roster that year was Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor is the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL. All right. So a lot of times they say, well, Kevin, who are you? What team are you?
Who are you the head coach of
right now?
Yeah.
So that was just one of those. But that was one of those years that, it was just one of those years that is very memorable from the first game of the season to the last game of the season, with that Grey Cup of us being together as quarterbacks, us doing and all this, when you look back on that season, the game planning that we used to do as a team, as a quarterback team, you could tell that some of these guys were going to be coaches one day.
Right.
All of us are probably going to be coaches one day. So that's just some of the things that you don't necessarily see at that particular point. But now when you look back on it, you be like, man, I remember those Thursday afternoons when we were doing a game plan. None of us thought that we would probably be coaches one day.
Yeah, you'd be where you are now. Yeah, running the game planning.
Yeah, we were all thinking about still playing.
Yeah,
at that particular time. So that's a trivia. So that 2007, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah,
there were 4 guys on that team as coaches. I mean, as players that are all now coaches. 3 of them are coaching professionally. So that means that is Mr. Glenn going to be coaching professionally?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
We'll leave that to.
We'll let fate decide that one.
We'll let fate decide that.
Okay, so I've got a question. I've got another question for you. Just a short little. So you played college football for Illinois State. Mm-hmm. You signed for the first time with the Saskatchewan.
Father Fulton would not like the fact that you can't say that you're getting tongue twisted.
Saskatchewan.
There we go.
Saskatchewan Rough Riders in 2001.
Yes.
And you have gone on to play for every CFL team, as you just said. In your 2007, the 4 quarterbacks, mm-hmm. 3 of your backups are now coaching professionally. You're here at CC. Why here? You've played college. You've played college ball. You've played pro ball for 18 years, mm-hmm. right? Why here?
What I've noticed, and this is not to say that this will continue, but there is a bigger fulfillment when I can take what I've experienced and instill it into high school athletes, student athletes, because I was the top male in my class in high school, graduating. I've graduated from college with a degree, so I understand the importance of academics and going to school. But I also understand the importance of athletics and what it did for me as not just playing 18 years, but
Right.
as a person, of understanding differences from people, understanding that you can't do everything by yourself.
Right.
You need teammates, whether they're family members or friends that you build these bonds with. Organized sports taught me a lot.
Right.
And so with the exposure and the experience that I've had, not just the 18 years, but over the course of my life.
Yeah, you're 31 years playing football.
It's a bigger fulfillment when I can instill this into young men or young adults that are in high school,
right,
and start that maturity level with the student athlete,
right, and kind
faster,
of, right,
than it being coaching individuals who are getting paid to do this for money,
right.
So not saying that I wouldn't ever coach professionally or college,
right,
but it's at this point in my life, it was like that, and the fact of I have 2 young children, so college and professional sports is very demanding,
right,
as far as a coach is concerned. So to be away from my family for those 18 years, half the year, it was a serious or a major point to, hey, I want to be here. I want to be able to drop my son off at school,
right,
during the school year. I want to be able to go on field trips. I want to, and that was one of the reasons. So it kind of like all aligned up, like what CC was offering,
right,
where I wanted to go.
The stars have aligned, yeah.
What I wanted to do for my family, all that kind of stuff started to line up,
right,
and it just kind of presented itself. And I'm a firm believer in fate.
Right.
I think things happen for a reason.
Absolutely.
And so the initiative of what CC was trying to adopt here, with the diversity and equity, me retiring, me going to St. Martin de Porres, going to Catholic high school,
right, yeah,
playing against CC, knowing a little bit about CC from the outside, like all that I think played a part in me coming back to Michigan and to the Detroit area and aligning with everything that was going on. But to be here it's fulfilling, to be able to give that information to a high school student,
right,
and to start that maturity process of, if you want to become a student athlete at the next level, this is what you need to do, and even if you don't make it in the athletic portion of it, you being a student is going to help you in life.
Absolutely,
because it just is. Go ahead.
Right, because again, you can only play for 18 years. Well, in your case,
yeah.
You only played for 18 years, and
most people don't play for that.
No, most people don't. I mean, with the exception of like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You've been compared. I was asking around in some of my classes, and they go, he's like the Canadian Tom Brady, right?
I wouldn't say all that now. So I've done my share, but if they was to go like, because you take into consideration the actual stats. So I'm 6th in the Canadian Football League of passing yardage and all that, and I think I'm like 17th in NFL in the Canadian. So I have a lot more like stats and success stories than a lot of NFL quarterbacks.
Right.
So
yeah, no,
I wouldn't say. I mean, Brady's talking about playing till he's 50.
Jesus.
That's just ridiculous.
At that point, how do you walk in the morning after that?
Hey, if you're able to do it,
yeah, absolutely, keep doing it.
I want to see it done.
Yeah,
I admire it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, because I know what it takes in order to put that kind of dedication in, and to being at the top. And because the older you get, you got to be a little bit more. You got to be better.
Excuse me.
Than those younger guys.
Oh, absolutely.
The older you get,
yeah,
because it's like you're on the down slope.
Right. With age comes wisdom, but you're also losing that physical edge.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but that's why at times I get out on the field and I challenge our quarterbacks. Whenever you want to challenge me to a throw.
Totally haven't seen that.
Yeah. So it can happen. This is for those QBs in the school right now.
Skyler. Bo, Declan,
Jaden, Pyden. Braden brothers. All of them.
I think it just got. I think the competition. All right, so I got two more questions. One's a quick. Well, they're both kind of quick questions. In your time, in your career, right, in your whole adult life, which of the three, the goodness, discipline, and knowledge, would you say you have drawn upon and has worked in you most?
Ooh. I would probably have to say, and they're probably all very close, but in the order, I would probably have to say discipline, goodness, then knowledge. And the reason I say discipline is because there's a lot of things, especially as a high school student, that I had to not participate in,
right?
Or wasn't able to do,
right? To go to parties, to stay out until 2,
because it was hey, I got practice tomorrow. Practice tomorrow. I got a test.
I got homework.
And it's not like, hey, I can go to the party and then do my homework, because no, I have to do my homework so now that I can go to practice.
Right.
So those things always play precedent over anything else.
Right.
So I would have to say discipline, and because professionally, off season, there is nobody. There isn't a strength and conditioning coach that is on you every day telling you to go to the gym and work out. So you have to be disciplined. You have to eat right. You have to go exercise. You have to put yourself in the best possible physical shape in order to go to training camp and be at your at the top performance.
It's that, do I want it?
Exactly, in order to do it. So
what am I willing to sacrifice to accomplish that? Yeah.
Everybody doesn't know this. So I left school. I played 4 years because I played as a true freshman. But in order to get my degree, I was on a 5-year plan.
Right.
I had to go play football professionally and then go back in the spring to finish up to graduate. So you're a professional football player getting paid to play football, but I'm going back to school to finish up to get my degree.
Wow.
That's discipline.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that
I
is.
had to do it for 2 years because I was taking half a semester.
Right. You only got half the time.
So the first spring, I went 2002. The next spring, 2003, is when I ended up graduating in May. So those are situations of discipline that played a huge part in my life. So
absolutely,
I would have to put discipline at the forefront. I would have to put that at the top.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that answer. That's a good answer.
My family would go on vacations in the summer to Hawaii.
Yep.
When I was in high school, and I would say, nope, I'm disciplined to stay here and compete in baseball, football, and basketball in the summer. So
baseball.
That was probably my
pitcher,
best sport, shortstop. So
the pro footballer admits that he was the better baseball player.
Yeah, I was.
Interesting.
Sorry to say.
Did they have a Canadian baseball league?
No, but they have some. Yeah, they got some Canadian.
They got some teams, but
not a league. But
yeah.
So
all right, and then our final question. Which award did you present at the Canadian Country Music Awards? I'm digging.
I knew this was coming.
I knew
this was coming.
And I just Google Kevin Glenn. It's the first an article that they had written about your retirement, and then it goes 2017 Canadian Country Music Awards. Kevin,
So
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I got an opportunity to meet Blake Shelton was there.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
It was also the year that my personal favorite song and artist, Jason Aldean, with Ennio Barstool, won. He was the best seller.
Okay.
The number one hit.
Yep.
God, that's a great song.
So
you presented. So you met Blake Shelton.
Yep. I actually presented. Yeah, I presented an award. Her name is Jess Moskalew. She's a country singer from, I want to say she's from Saskatchewan. I don't know what part, but she's from Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is kind of like, it's the province, it's like the state here.
Right.
But what happened is me and one of the offensive linemen, his name was Brendan Labette. We actually got approached because she was performing. So we didn't present an award, but we actually announced her performance. So we brought her out because we were playing for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders at the time.
Yeah,
they approached the Rough Riders and was like, "Hey, can Kevin and Brandon do they want to present or bring Jess out for her performance?" So we basically had to go up on stage and they had to teleprompters. We had all this rehearsal and everything. And it basically, we kind of got the crowd a little hyped and told them who was kind of coming out and was like, make noise.
Yeah.
And she came out. Cool. It was pretty cool. It was pretty nice. It was had never been to an award show like that, like as a presenter, in the back rooms and the
in the red carpet.
We had the red carpet and they interviewed us walking up the red carpet and everything. So it was a great experience. So
interesting.
Yeah, it was. Had never, been to a country music awards type thing. So
I go Kevin Glenn.
Very interesting facts. Huh?
Yeah, it's your Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. It's your there's a news article from the Phoenix.
Okay.
And then they're talking about Kevin Glenn country, and I'm like, wait a minute. I've heard him. I know he gets because Chaz played chicken fried in practice the other day, and he's getting down to it. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is all making sense now.
Right? Yeah.
So, are you a fan of country music?
I wouldn't necessarily say a fan. But I'm a fan of all genres of music. If it has a beat and you can move to it.
Fair enough.
I've always had this bucket list of learning how to play the guitar. So
really?
Yes. So
we've got one right there. Here.
We do not need to put this on camera right now because I have no experience with playing a guitar.
Well, come on.
That's one of my bucket lists.
You don't know how to hold a guitar?
I mean, I know how to hold it, but
several bad puns later.
You know what I'm very good at? Air guitar.
I know you are.
I've seen you play at practice.
I've seen you get down on air guitar. Yeah.
So
no, it's
and the reason why. Oh, they gonna think I really can play now. The reason why is from Guitar Hero
and
Rock Band. Yes, I used to with my wife. We would get down on that with the drums and everything. So,
dude, I used to.
But air guitar is my thing, and that's why I have a bucket list of actually learning how to play the guitar.
Interesting.
So, so I've seen. In Saskatchewan, there's a lot of stuff that happened in Saskatchewan. I got a chance to see.
Personally, I didn't know they had country music up in Canada.
Oh, you did?
I mean, other than some of the big names, I just thought they just kind of listened to. I just thought they listened to American country music. They've got it's huge. It's really, really. Boy,
huge.
Was I wrong.
I mean, if you think about it, one of the number one artists right now. In North America or in the world is Drake.
Yeah,
from Canada.
No,
so
I knew
they do a little bit like Father Fulton would enjoy this plug, and they do a lot of good things up in Canada.
Yeah,
and that's why I say I was exposed to that for some years, so I was able to gain that culture up there. So it's pretty. Gained a lot of information from that culture, so it's pretty cool.
Just that everybody talks about. Canada's just northern U.S.
So no, they got their own culture.
No, it's different.
It is, and so
okay. Follow up question, because I'm a chunky guy, right? Okay. Food is poutine better up there than it is down here?
I don't know because I've never had poutine.
You've never had poutine?
Never had poutine.
Oh my god!
That is one thing that I can say that I will probably never eat.
Why?
I just don't understand the cheese curds on fries and gravy.
I don't understand the cheese curds either.
Is if you want if you want gravy and potatoes, just eat mashed potatoes and gravy. I don't understand.
Hold on now. There's a difference in gravies because there's the brown gravy and then there's like sausage gravy. Right?
Well, I'm more of a turkey gravy guy. Yeah, I don't really eat pork. It seems like it's the same gravy to me. It looks like the same gravy.
I'm talking like biscuits and gravy.
Right, and that's what I think the gravy is on poutine.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, but I just never got in. I never really quite got into the cheese curds.
I can understand because the cheese curds are a little weird for me personally.
A little weird. And it's like, do you like dip the fry in the cheese curd because they literally melt a little bit.
They do, yeah.
I see most people eating them with a fork.
Yeah. No. You know like chili cheese fries?
So now that's good. Chili cheese fries.
No.
That's a Detroit Coney Island thing, right? I like that.
Your intestines might not appreciate it, but damn is it good.
Right, exactly.
But no, that's how I eat poutine. It's just that you pick up two, you get them together, you get a cheese curd.
So this is my follow-up question for you. Have you been to Canada to eat the poutine?
I have not been to Canada to eat the poutine.
You've only eaten it from the U.S.
We were up in northern Michigan.
Okay, so that's why.
We had pasties.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love pasties.
All right.
and then we had poutine.
Poutine, and you like poutine?
Oh, I love poutine.
You would enjoy Canada then, because they sell it everywhere.
I know they do. I've heard, and Tim Hortons everywhere.
Yes, they sell them everywhere. Yeah. Tim Hortons is literally probably on every corner.
Yeah, they're more popular than McDonald's up there, from what I've heard.
Probably, yep, they are. Yeah. They are.
And is the McDonald's menu different in Canada?
Yes, it is. It's a little different. Like for a while, there were certain things that they didn't have in the McDonald's Canada McDonald's that they had here in the U.S.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay, so I've got one last follow-up question, and then
we'll go on forever.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna do the food 5. This is the food 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
So, your favorite food? We ask every guest this. What is your favorite food of all time? It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be a restaurant. But it could be, for me. It's my aunt's. Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits
oh my
gravy?
God! That's why I brought up gravy.
I'm gonna probably say the Boneyard.
Boneyard.
The roasted chicken at the Boneyard.
Really?
Yes. That's one thing. Like whenever I was to come home, bye week, would definitely have to get.
It's pretty. It's
Boneyard. They're roasted potatoes and chicken is pretty.
It's
good.
pretty good.
Gotcha.
No, I agree with that.
All right.
But no, awesome. Coach Glenn, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. We appreciate your role here in the Brotherhood podcast. We really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thanks.
So
man.
thank you so much.
Appreciate being the first guest, and I think this is something that we can look forward to.
Absolutely.
Of seeing multiple guests and multiple.
I think you'll like who we've got in store.
So, I got it. I think I will too.
Yeah.
And I like the way this thing's played out. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. If you liked our show, please leave a like and consider also giving us a helpful review so that we can reach a larger audience and help share our virtues with our community. That's all from us. Thanks for listening.